What's up, you guys? It is your host, Omari Abassi, and welcome to another episode of my podcast, OA Fagazine. And, here we are. It's Saturday, and I'm almost on time today. I don't even know what time it actually is, but I know it's close to 8 o'clock. And, instead of being out and about at Pride PDX, I'm, having my, show with you and spending my Saturday with you. And doing the, love me some RuPaul. Love RuPaul. Not really as much into the drag, RuPaul drag, whatever, race RuPaul. I'm into the RuPaul who was like doing this stuff right here. Like this was everything. This song right here just gave me life. It was just, I don't know, I loved him back in this day when he had a show, and he was just amazing to me. And, it's like now, it's like this RuPaul of today is more like, I don't know, like people are always like, oh, she's this, she's that, and she's everything. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I liked her when she was just him, RuPaul the guy, actually, when he wasn't so, all about being too much exposure, and that's not a bad thing. I don't necessarily think, but it isn't always a good thing either. It's one of those things. It's like, I hate when stuff plays out. Like I love like good songs, and it's like when like when you were a kid. Maybe not so much when everybody was a kid, but when we were young, for us, it's like the moment a dance got a name, we were over it. We moved on. We were like, oh God, people are doing that. When a dance gets a name, we automatically knew that it was time to find the next dance. And like when people called the Cabbage Patch, we were like, why is it called the Cabbage? Like it was never called the Cabbage Patch. I was in this group of people who danced. Like what we did, we went to Soul Train, and then after Soul Train we would go to like the Danceteria and these places called the Paradise 24, what's it called? The Stock Exchange, and then Wall Street. And these clubs were just amazing, and we just did dances. We just grooved, and never did they have names. We just did them. And to me, that's kind of how I feel about RuPaul. Like, of course, always came out, always known as RuPaul, but was just this cool indie sort of, I don't know, underground thing, and now it's just so over the top, and drag queens are all over the place, and it just kind of loses its sort of, I don't know, flavor for me personally. It's like, started off with salt, and now you need lemon pepper and allspice and all. It's just too much for me personally. But I love old school RuPaul. Like Shady Shade is my stuff. That's my jam right there. Like when I hear songs by him now, I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like these songs are horrible. And I know everybody's not going to agree, but that is not why we do this show. It's not to agree. But happy Pride, Portland, if you guys are here. I'm sure there's like prides going on in other places of the world too, or the US. It's kind of like Pride season. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to go to Seattle Pride, but it's like I'm right on the cusp. I'm like, yeah, I should go. I should just go ahead and do it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll decide tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the deciding factor for me. Thinking about going up there and hanging out with an old friend of mine, an old model friend of mine, Quinn. So we haven't seen each other in years, so this would be our first time seeing each other in about 3 or 4 years maybe. And so we were kind of discussing the possibilities of hanging out up there. So it'd be kind of a good reunion, because it would be where we sort of last saw one another. So excuse me, it's going to be I want to go just because I want to go to Pride, and I'm going because I would love to be able to catch up and just kind of bury some hatchets, because you know me, my style. I love if anybody in the world knows how to lose friendships, I am the one. I need to write a book on that. I tell you, like, I don't know. I don't have the Midas touch when it comes to friendships and maintaining them. I try my best, and then something goes wrong. I'm one of these people that tends to, I hate drama. I hate it. I despise it. So instead of, I probably should be better at it and like communicate better, but I hate drama so much that I tend to just shy away from any type of discussion that's going to cause more drama. So I'll just back out. I'll be like, okay, I'm good. Let's not even discuss it because it's just going to make shit worse. And I probably need to get better at that. But all that said, my goal is to go and have a good time up there, because I haven't been up to Seattle Pride in major years, and it was good. It's like 3 or 4 years now, and it was an awesome time. And actually, we had a great time when we were there. And it's actually one of the best prides. Like Long Beach Pride, Long Beach, California is my favorite. It's like my absolute favorite. And then I would say Seattle comes like second. I can't get into New York. It's too big. It's too long. It's just too much for me. Like I can't enjoy it. Chicago's boring. San Francisco's is way too much. Like it's cool, but they give you too much. It's like it's the same thing at Folsom, same thing at Dory Alley. It's just like you just get too much. Like you see the people naked and sucking dick in the street, and after a while it gets boring to me. Like I love public displays of affection, especially like nudity outdoors. I kind of dig it when it's a dare, or when it's for fun, or when you're kind of doing it like at the just sort of this shocking moment in your life or whatever with you and somebody else. But when it comes to the pride thing, I kind of go, it doesn't do anything for me much anymore. But that's just me. Like I'm sure for younger people it probably is everything, but for me not so much. So I'm protesting PDX Pride because it's like that organizer was the worst. It's like I can't even do it. Like so I won't even consider going to that. It's not something I believe in. I patronize people who respect their business. Like if you're gonna operate an organization, whether it be profit, non-profit, you have to treat your customer and treat your vendor or whomever. You gotta treat them with respect. And I get emails all the time from people that I don't know, and I always treat everybody with the same level of respect. And as I get to know that person, and as I get to talk to them more, like I tend to build it or lose it, or completely be done with it. But I'm always about new business opportunities and trying to build on what I have out there. And I just don't find that people have that same business practice, and it drives me nuts. And I don't know how people even get on board with Portland Pride with the way that organizer, his name is like Corey or something. He's the worst, like literally the worst. I will never ever have dealings with him ever again in my life. Just the worst. It's a waste of my time. But anyway, so much stuff going on. So much better. So as you notice, today's show is called Prance Bitches Prance, and let me explain why. Because I just recently got addicted to the Prancing Elites, like that show that comes on. I think I'm gonna say W or Oxygen. I think it's Oxygen, and it's this group of men who do what is called J setting, and you guys probably already know this. So it's not like I'm old school, so it takes me forever to get on board with shit. But J setting is like this college thing where they're like cheerleaders, but they do their own style of dance. And basically Beyonce took J setting for a single ladies video and that style, and took it upon herself to make it her own sort of style of dancing, which it isn't true, because this has been going on for decades, this type of dance. But anyway, the reason why the Prancing Elites are at all, I guess notable for it is because they're men, and usually it's a woman, I guess what do you call that? Like when mostly women do it. I'm losing my mind today. I don't know why. But anyway, it's like mostly only women do it, and it's because it's cheerleading in college, whatever. And not only are they men, it's not like that they're just men, but they're super feminine. And so they have been really, really kind of having a hard time, getting their shit off the ground, and people have, not allowed them to perform and put them out of parades and just all kind of shit. Just sort of doing a civil rights movement in their own right for their ability to participate in parades and perform. And, it's like, I don't know, it's heart-wrenching to find that people still treat people in this manner. Like, I'm not gonna get politics in my show. I don't talk about race. I'm gonna try my best to never talk about racism and politics and shit like that, because it's really not like you can go anywhere and hear that shit. So, but the part that really touched me was they were in a parade, and they were trying to get into a parade, and they weren't allowed to be in this parade. So they marched alongside the parade, and there was this one woman and her daughter who were just terrified and mortified for them, and cried and gave them encouragement. And and the little girl was just said, I don't like the way they treated you. They shouldn't treat you. And this girl's like about 5 or 6 years old, and maybe like 7, and she's just crying, and all she wants to do is see them do what they do, and they kind of teach her some of the moves, and I think her name was Bella, and it was just touching. It was so touching, because I'm like, why is it in 2014, 2015, and because this was shot in 2014, so forgive me, but it's like, why are we still fighting these fights? Like, why are we still looking for equality? I mean, granted, I know realistically we're only going to get so much of it. I get it. I totally get it. But it's like, to be shunned and booed and told we can't do things in this day and age is just crazy. But it's still very true. Like, I get so much discrimination in my life, which is why I do my own shit. Like, I produce my own shows, I do my own clubs. Like, I never work with other promoters, because they just, number one, they just want me to water my shit down and play what they want me to play, and they, so you have to produce your own shit. And I always go extreme with my shit. I'm always just completely to the left, always. And so, you have such a hard time trying to convince people that you can do with it, pull it in or bring it in or have people interested. And these guys are just 5 guys wanting to dance, and they wear makeup, they do, they wear these horrible unitard things or whatever, but it's their thing. And so you find all these people booing them and hating them just because they are different. And I go, wow, are we still fighting that fight? And the answer is yes, we are still fighting that fight. Now, I do have mixed emotions. I'm watching the show, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm liking it, and I'm loving the fight. I'm definitely loving the fight. I'm loving the cause and loving what they're doing. However, it is a bit embarrassing, because they aren't intelligent. They grammatically, I would say, they're very challenged. It's almost like this double-edged sword. It's like there's this reality show about these people, this group of people trying to fight for rights and get some justice and whatever. And then on the other hand, they show these typical, stereotypical black men being completely ignorant, and you just go, wow, if only they could be just a bit more intelligent and be able to, project what it is that they do verbally versus just physically. Because typically, a lot of people are okay being entertained as long as they don't have to deal with the situation. And then that's this case. It's like, you go, well, just perform, don't talk, And I think if they could communicate a bit better, verbally, if they could communicate and speak to people and show a little bit more. What is the word that I want to use? And I mean, but at least I can, I definitely can get my point across or whatever when I'm not tired. But today, I guess I'm just. But no, it's like they don't know what a lot of words mean.